Hey everyone, it's Michelle here. I'm a Kiki in 1988. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So just to jump right into today's topic, a few weeks ago, hopefully not a few months ago, a viewer had asked me to kind of expound on how I went about finding my personal style. I think it was in reference to a comment I had made as I was sharing a bag, of course, and just I think I made some comment to the extent of, I really feel like I'm starting to exude my personal style and who I really feel I am. And she asked like how I went about doing that. And I kind of like dragged my feet in answering the question because it's not really a question I want to answer. I feel like there's so many people who are constantly giving advice and trying to tell others like what they should do, but it's more just because like it's in flattery to themselves, right? So many people want other people to do what they're doing just because that's what they're doing, and they don't necessarily think about like what works best for that person. So rather than tell you like how I got my style honed in on or what I did, I thought I would actually just share my styling tips playlist. So I have made that public on my channel. And as I was just kind of researching myself, I found a few influencers that I connected with just because I like their perspective, the way that they dress, like actually teaching you things about style and how to like dress for your body type, and how to just kind of lean into the features that you do have rather than trying to hide them. My favorite, of course, if you haven't heard of her already, is Audrey Coyne. And I love that one, her content is short, sweet, and to the point, but she also really teaches you things. So you can find videos on different topics like, accessories or sunglasses, or how to dress if you have long legs, or how to dress if you have a short torso, how to dress if you're petite, how to style, she does hair videos. She's got stuff on, just all sorts of things. But I love that they're just like, it's like teaching a skill. So you learn bit by bit or clip by clip. And so I would literally just save into this playlist and I would just play them as I was getting ready, and it would help me to give me something to think about as I was putting my outfits together. And I love it because over time, it's like I started realizing like, oh, this isn't as hard as I made it out to be. I am a creative person. I do art for my own personal, therapy. And so I do know the color wheel, and I just realized I had to change my thinking around it that, styling and fashion is also art. And, art is it's a lot of errors, but you're never wrong unless you like throw the project away. And so, putting an outfit together, putting a style together, you just have to keep trying at it. And if you put something on, you don't like the way it looks, just change, one piece or one component at a time. It doesn't mean you have to throw the whole outfit out. And so rather than tell you what you should do, I just thought I would, lead the horse to water and show you what I've done personally. I did also think that I would just share a few little things as far as like some of my inspiration, right? So in my playlist, you'll find, I think it's primarily 3 content creators that I follow there. It's Audrey Coyne. I think the second lady, her name is Anna Reed, and then Asia Jackson. And Asia specifically, I actually really do like. She talks a lot about proportions and how to break up skin and clothing. And that for me was probably one of the most important things that I needed to figure out, rather than just to wear all black outfits that completely cover my whole body and just made certain parts of my body stand out in ways that I really didn't want it to. So that was super helpful. Anna, I like that I think she's like in her 40s, so close to my age. But I like that she talks about how you don't really have to dress for your age, and like kind of, I feel like she beats the old stereotypes of we should look a certain way or dress a certain way as we age. And then she'll also talk about like trends and like which things you should lean into and which things you should avoid. But as far as like some YouTubers that I follow here, like more in our purse community, I wanted to start with like Nothing But Bags, because Liz, I don't think, gives herself enough credit. In every video, her intro is that she lets the bag pick her outfit, and it's not really about the clothes, but her outfits always speak to me personally. I think, we work in similar settings where for the most part, we both work from home. And, for me, I don't have to dress super professional unless I have a client-facing meeting or I'm out traveling at a conference or on site with a client. But I do still like to dress up for work so that I change my mood and my attitude from my day-to-day life to my working life, so I can be productive as I'm working from my home environment. And I think the style that I've seen a lot of Liz's outfits fall into, I would term as like a casual chic. And I like that. I like that look. And then, the bags are a big inspiration. So I've started thinking about that. So some days I know exactly what I want to wear and I pick the bag afterwards. But most days I don't know what I want to wear. So I just start with, well, what bag do I want to wear? And then I create the outfit from that. And that has made it so much easier for me to have two different ways of approaching based on how my mood is. So Liz, thank you for your inspiration. Second, I would say that I actually really enjoy Dazzle Me 77. And I think because I really trust her advice. She'll tell you that she was very strictly like an all black person, a black bag woman. And she started venturing out with a little bit more colors, but you can tell as she presents like her bags and her setups and even her outfits that she thinks about what she's wearing. And so for me, I'm like, okay, well, she's, Dazzle's thinking about what she's doing, so I can trust her inputs. So as she's starting incorporating more colors, whether it's like, the blues or browns or pinks, I'm like, okay, well, if she can challenge herself that way, maybe I can try this, but in a different shade that's, that works for me or what have you. And so, I love that because still at her core though, she loves black bags, which, same. So Dazzle, thank you for your inspiration. And then I would be amiss not to mention Jazz from the Completed Look, because one, Jazz is like a great ray of sunshine, from her smile to her attitude to her content, and you cannot miss the colors. And the thing is, like, I've never seen somebody wear so much color but have it look so good and so put together. Like it's like, I think growing up, I was always taught about like all, women who wear too much color is like tacky or it's flamboyant, but it's not. And I think it's just, there's an art to it. There's a balance to it. And I appreciate that Jazz shows us so transparently all of her stuff, right? From her home decor to her purse room, to her purse collection, to her outfits, to, as she's shopping, her approach, or as she's showing us her wish list. And, having that transparency has allowed me to see, like, from bird's eye view, right? Or I guess really from a perspective view, from the outside in. Okay, I could see this, I could see that. Okay, I could try this, I could try that. And it's built up my confidence to want to try little things here and there. So I thought today would be very appropriate to wear like a non-black outfit because I've been doing more of that lately. And, I have allowed myself to kind of consider that, yes, I do love black and I will continue to wear all black outfits, but not all the time. Because there are days when my mood is usually pretty light, but there are days when I want my outfit to reflect that, right? And so like I was laughing as I put together today's outfit because not a single piece of my outfit is black. I was able to score the Bluebell Brooklyn in the Coach Summer Sale. But I remember watching this all year long and thinking, man, that blue would go for all year round. You could wear it in winter, you could wear it in spring, you could wear it in summer. And that's what made me think, like, man, maybe that would be like my first blue bag that I would allow myself to buy. But I already had my Brooklyn 28 and I already had my Brooklyn 39. And so I wasn't gonna allow myself to buy it unless it went on sale. And then it was in phase 2, so that was great. And then I started thinking, well, what would Jazz do? And then I was like, oh, I have my orange collection I bought from the outlet. And I know that blue and orange go well together. And then brown is a nice neutral, so it can go in there as well. So I put on my orange scarf on my bag. I put my little persimmons on the bag tag. And then on the inside, I have my corner zip bracelet and I have my wallet and the brown and the orange and the blue. I'm just like, this is such a classy, like summery, like resort type look. And then, I had also picked up the orange trigger snap along the way. And then somebody here, Denitra, actually was able to point me to the Piper K orange bag charm. And even though it's bigger than the Maison de Sabre ones, I actually like this one because I can use it as a coin purse. And so I've got my trigger snap, and I just love that I have like these little set of accessories that not only go well with this bag, but I've been able to envision and try it out with several other bags. I love it with my brown bags, love it with my black bags. I worn it with bags that have gold hardware, bags that have silver hardware. And I feel like I'm actually using the things that I own. And so there's no guilt about having invested that money in those things. And so today, I've got like this blue and orange setup, and then I, wore a white tank top. I'll show you when I stand up here. I have my orange linen shorts on that I found on a great deal at Target. I have my Rothy's on, and then I was like, I need some blue to kind of marry my outfit. So today's sunglasses are my Longchamp glasses. And I just love this look because I'm like, this is like the most summariest outfit I have ever worn. And I'm still exuding my personal style, and I love this. I woke up in a great mood, got out early, got my run in, got my hours of work in early, had time to myself, been working on just like creative projects. And I'm like, it's so crazy how your outfit, or you know, it can be so reflective of your mood, but can also help to like alter your mood in a positive way. So lastly, I just thought I would share some of the things that I've learned just from some of the personal research that I've been doing. And one is that it's really just best to start with your basics. You know, I invested a little bit to get some higher quality tanks that I have that when I wear for like work, but then I also have some just for like my day-to-day. So like for my higher quality shirts, whether it's like nicer tanks or blouses or button-ups, I do prefer to go to Banana Republic. I do also like to wear sweaters, you know, in the fall and winter, but I wanted ones that looked nice and ones that could just be pulled over, you know, as I'm jumping on like a work call. And so I'll typically actually get those from the Banana Republic outlet. They have the Forever sweaters in crew neck and in V-neck, which are really good quality, wash well, and they're very inexpensive. When it comes to pants, I'll buy pants or shirts from anywhere, but I found certain stores that most consistently have the styles, the colors, and the sizes that I like. I do like to get like my jeans and my trousers and like my work suits from Express, which surprised me. And what I found out is that it wasn't hard to dress my body like I thought it was. I just needed to start buying my pants in long, because I'm right in between a regular and a long, depending on the style of pants, where my inseam is about 31.5, and the average pant inseam is only about 30 to 31. And it's like, you know, I do have long legs, and that's not something that I'm really ashamed of. And when I wear the pants that look best on me, typically pants that go to the ground, straight leg, you know, I'll wear a minor flare or boot cut sometimes, and I do still have my skinny jeans, but when I wear pants that fit me properly and that are long enough, my legs look better, my tush looks better, I feel better. And so for the first time in my life, I'm actually comfortable wearing jeans. And then, you know, for average like shirts, for like more luxe t-shirts, I'll still get some of those from Banana Republic or Express. And then for casual shirts or casual tanks or like casual shorts, I'll actually just like stop by Target. Not all the time. It just depends on what their current brands, what they have. And you can always find stuff on sale. And I like to find things on sale. I think, you know, I'm a moderate, like Dave Ramsey follower. And I would say, you know, aside from the purses, right, I do try to kind of embody a lot of the things that he teaches, because I think they are relevant and they are real, especially in times where, you know, our economy is up and down, certain industries are up and down. But two of my top takeaways from him are, one is the fact that so few of us know how to practice and observe contentment in our lives. I feel like a lot of us do constantly pursue things that we can consume or that we can acquire, and so that's going to reach a level of satisfaction or happiness within us, and it won't. But the other thing he talks about is that as a lot of us progress through our careers, our professionalism, we make more money, we climb the socioeconomic ladder, as we make more, we spend more. And so I really do try to be cognizant of that and think about, like, what do I really need in my wardrobe, aside from purses? Where is that money best spent? And where can I get the best value for my money? So I have my core stores that I typically buy things from, you know, and then, you know, I get accessories. I don't have a whole lot of accessories, and I don't really buy costume jewelry. And then if there's something that's one-off that I want, or a unique piece that I want to bring into my wardrobe or to my accessories or into my home, that's when I'll kind of venture out. Maybe might take a trip to the mall and explore some other stores. And honestly, that has become like to be just a really fun process for me, where I know what I want or I know what I need. I know what I want, and then I'll go pick up like that one or twosie thing here and there. And so I really don't do hauls, and that allows me to make sure that I'm only bringing in what I actually know I can manage and can actually wear and incorporate into what I already have. So I hope that those tips have helped. I hope that the list of creators and my sharing of the playlist helps, especially if you're an individual who's also still trying to hone in on your own personal style. Thank you guys for joining me for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.